Well, James Oliver-Pearce, it's another big FAU Cup week for the academy. Spurs coming up. How have preparations been going?
Yeah, they've been pretty good. We've been fortunate to have most of the group together. We had obviously a game on Saturday that allowed us to continue some of our preparations, which was great. The boys are starting to get to just with the game plan. We've got another training session today and tomorrow, just in the build up to the Tottenham game. But it's very much sort of business as usual for them. We don't try to change too much. We try to keep the messages pretty consistent. We work off of principles, not too much about what the opposition are going to do, but if this happens, what would you do? And they've really bought into that. So been really pleased with how they've been so far. They seem in great spirits today, but yeah, we just need to keep that going ahead of Wednesday.
In a way, after the great feedback from the fans after the Burnley game, did you have to sort of bring the players down to earth in a way, because it was a great reaction, wasn't it, on social media?
Yeah, we obviously are really, we can't say thank you enough of all the support that we was getting. We know a lot of people tuned in for the Burnley game, and it seemed to bring everybody's spirits really high, which was great to see. We got videos from all fans, directors, people that I haven't heard from personally in a long time, so it was great to hear. And it's great to know that everybody feels such a connection with them. Obviously that Wednesday is another big occasion for them to keep driving that and show a Wimbledon type performance that everybody can be proud of. We can only control what we can control, but we want to make sure that the fans can recognise and appreciate the team that's out there.
Does it surprise you in a way that this club, the way the fans react to the youth section, because it seems to be more of this club than other clubs?
No, it doesn't surprise me because we've experienced it slightly in the past. We know how proud the fans are when they see some of their own either stepping out for the first team or doing well. We know that that's something that this club really values. We know that we're a club that we're going to be reliant on producing individuals for the first team and hopefully driving the club forward. So it doesn't surprise me, but it was really quite overwhelming. The amount of messages and the amount of videos that we received was incredible. My phone didn't stop going off. I shared it all with the lads and they were just like, wow, how's so many people tuning in and how is it making such a big impact? And that's only the ones that sent messages and videos in. There was probably loads that were incredibly proud and resonated with the team. So yeah, we can't say thank you enough to them, but obviously we want to make sure we're doing them proud again on Wednesday night.
And you were behind the scenes, a big part of the big FAU Cup nights against Newcastle, Watford, Chelsea. Rob Tuvey, Robbo praised your impact behind the scenes. Does it help that you've been through some of these nights?
Massively. Whether I realise it all the time or not, I will draw back from certain memories and how Rob last season, how they dealt with the occasion. That doesn't mean that I won't have my own nerves or my own things to consider, but naturally it's about recognising the sort of conversations that were being taken place at that time. So many different experiences around Newcastle, Chelsea, and how Robbo controlled the group and the messages and the conversations he was having was something that we actually used quite heavily this time. I've lent on Robbo and Rob for the Burnley game quite heavily, and just in more of a psychological approach. They obviously, I'd like to think they trust me to deal with it technically and tactically, but I just wanted to gain an insight into why they did certain things a certain way and whether they felt the outcome was what they were looking for or not. And that seemed like it worked previously, and hopefully it does again.
Well, let's hope so. And you did say after the Burnley win, we are Wimbledon and we don't care who we play. Does that go for Spurs as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's Wimbledon's heritage. We work and we perform for a certain football club, so we need to make sure we are embodying that when we step out. And we just because we don't care who teams are doesn't mean we don't respect who they are. So we will have a large degree of respect for the opponents that we're playing against. But if we're going to step out and believe that we can't compete, then there's no point us going. We might as well just stay at home and forfeit the tie. But we don't. We believe that we can go out and perform. We believe we can compete. And with all of that focus and that desire and the quality that some of these players have, there's no reason why we can't go out and perform. So that's a message to the group. That's how the group feels. They want to go out and go toe to toe with Tottenham. So it's great that we've got that buy-in. But we do respect the quality that they're going to have, and we will try to stamp our own mark on it in our own way.
In terms of what happened in the last round, under 16s made themselves heroes on the night. Paris Lock and Aaron Sassu coming off the bench. Does that perhaps set an example that others will get their chance?
They'll get their opportunity. Ultimately, the scholars, we feel it is their time to shine. It's their opportunity. But if the under 16s are performing brilliantly and that they're earning their place, then I'll have no hesitation to put them in. And fortunately, I've worked with all of these groups now for a good few years now, so I know them quite well personally as well as from their footballing talents. So if they're performing or we feel like there needs to be a change, we'll trust them. The very, very worst, they've experienced something, they've gained some experience that they'll be able to fall back on, just like you've asked me. They'll be able to draw from these in the past, ultimately, hopefully for the betterment of the first team. So yeah, if they're performing, they'll get the opportunity.
And it's a similar group to the last round of team news that we got all the players available.
Similar to last time, one or two that are back in the frame that were previously unavailable. That we're hopeful that they'll be fit and sharp and ready to go. But largely no, a lot of the same boys in the squad.
Good luck on Wednesday, James.
Cheers.